It got up, past that 50-mile mark of what's considered space by U.S. standards. The live feed was a little hard to see, but you could see the crew in there floating around. And then after, a few minutes, then they headed back down. It was sort of surreal, Eric, to think that in a matter of about what would take someone to watch a movie, 90 minutes, we watched Richard Branson and crew come out here, get on an SUV, go out to the plane, take off, get to space, and then come back in 90 minutes, and everything went safe. And some people have asked, well, what makes this different? Because Virgin Galactic has sent people to that same mark. Well, I think the big difference here is that you've got the owner and founder of a company, a billionaire, putting his life sort of on the line, taking the risk, going to space, and then coming back down safely to sort of show the people who are thinking about getting into space tourism that not only is it possible, but it's safe, and that he did it himself. And so far 600 people have signed up for tickets to do something like this at a tune of $250,000. So there's definitely the interest there. And then you have billionaire Jeff Bezos, who 9 days from now will be doing something similar for his company, Blue Origin. So a historic day, a huge step towards space tourism and the future.
Yeah, Jeff, can you explain? Bezos is more like a rocket, and when we think of rockets and going up to space, we have the typical Apollo and Mercury straight rockets up. Can you explain this unique plane, how high it goes up, then it boosts it up to about, 53 miles into space, and they have 4 minutes or so of weightlessness. How does this thing work?
So it looks almost like a double plane, twin fuselage plane. And in the middle of that sort of double-looking plane, you've got the VSS Unity. That is the space plane, as they call it, because it is kind of a mixture between a rocket and a plane. So once that plane takes off, it's sort of giving that space plane the boost into the air it needs. And it's not doing anything until they hit the 50,000 mark. And once they get the all-go, they release the space plane, the VSS Unity, and then it shoots straight up. The rocket powers up and it shoots straight up. And the idea is to get above 50 miles above the New Mexico desert, where they get to feel that weightlessness. It only lasts maybe about 15 minutes once they're up there, and then it lands. And it lands almost like what you'd see with a space shuttle or plane, just down on its wheels, and that's a perfectly safe landing.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable when we see the video of him. It's like an executive jet. It looks inside like one of those private jets. This is considered a test flight. There are, a couple more before they will accept the paying passengers. Jeff, what else can they achieve with this besides just giving some rich folks a thrill ride?
Well, I think it's much like maybe if we look back historically with any sort of technology, whether it's an iPhone or just an airplane, a commercial airplane, things always like that sort of start expensive, and as the private sector gets involved and more competition comes in and streamlines things, it makes it cheaper, more people get involved, and there's sort of a supply and a demand. And so I think that will we'll see, maybe could see that in the future, especially when you have competitors like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, who are dumping their fortunes into something like this, depending on what the future should bring. And then also there's the environmental aspect. I think when you talk to people who have been to space and have looked back down on the planet Earth from a distance, which not many people get to say they have, it gives you an appreciation for what we have down here. So that certainly could start a bigger conversation about the environment and just the future of this planet.
Just remarkable. We're awaiting Branson, the eccentric, historic, courageous innovator and billionaire, 71 years old. He will be making remarks. We will bring that to you live, of course. Jeff Paul, on the ground in New Mexico. Thank you, folks. Get your reservations in. Keep your tray table up in the upright position, please, and follow all the instructions. We'll be hearing that going up to Space Hotel, I think, pretty soon. Man, wow.
Wow is right. And so for more on this historic Virgin Galactic space flight, we're going to bring in former NASA astronaut Tom Jones. And you don't really need an introduction, but I do want to remind everybody about your extraordinary accomplishments. I mean, you completed 4 space shuttle missions. You spent 53 days, 48 minutes